the heartbeat of competition, the drama of the moment. This is TNT Sports, home of NASCAR's race for the championship. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot, it's out!
TNT Sports presents NASCAR. Tonight it's NASCAR Busch Series racing from Indianapolis. Just across town from the Brickyards, it's Indianapolis Raceway Park, a smaller 0.6 of a mile cousin of the famed track. Though lacking the glory of the bigger speedway, IRP gives nothing away where action is concerned. The fender masher tempered boiler racing this track's become known for fills the grandstands. Drivers, well, they get filled with excitement too. Weather does threaten us here tonight, so we're going to get things going right now.
From the Kroger Company, drivers, start your engines.
And welcome to NASCAR on TNT. Alan Bestwick, Benny Parsons, and our guest for the night, Elliott Sadler, driver of the M&M Sport. He said he was coming over to watch the race anyway. I thought I'd put him to work. How you doing?
Great. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. Benny, I want to start with you. Let's talk about this championship. The lead in the NASCAR Busch Series title race has changed hands 3 times in the last 5 weeks and could well again tonight.
And Scott Riggs has a lead, but just barely, just 2 points between himself and David Green. And this racetrack they're racing on tonight, it's a very tough racetrack to finish. We see a lot of casualties here. And in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they go to Bristol. So they've got to get through this one, get through Bristol with any hope of winning the championship. And Elliott, you finished second the last 2 times you raced here, but this is a tough racetrack.
It is, and I think the progressive banking adds to that. The guy on the bottom, it's a lot looser down there. You got to use your chrome horn a lot to try to move up in positions. Track position is a big, big key here and Bristol coming up. So I know all the guys in the points race want that track position. Scott Riggs starting 19th tonight, so I know he'll have his fingers crossed, try to get to the front, keep the mess behind him, and try to get all the championship points he can.
You said iron horn during rehearsal. You got upgraded to chrome now?
You helped me out, Alan. Great teacher.
Okay, I appreciate it. Of course, the big headline the last couple of weeks in the NASCAR Busch Series has been the on-track feud between 2 of the circuit's top drivers, Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Mike Bliss. With more on that, we head to pit road and Ralph Shaheen.
A couple of weeks ago, they got together for the first time at New Hampshire International Speedway. When they got done crashing, Mike Bliss said of Bobby Hamilton, he's got a 10-foot ego and a 4-foot body. They went on to Pikes Peak, and Mike Bliss got into the backside of Bobby Hamilton. When they got done crashing there, NASCAR said, boys, that's it. We don't want to see you in this trailer ever again. I asked Mike Bliss just moments ago, is it done? He said, I'll race Bobby Hamilton however he races me. With more on the story, here's my colleague, Mark Garrow.
Well, Ralph, I think you could call it at best an uneasy truce between those 2 drivers. When NASCAR asked them, is it over, they really didn't get an answer. So I went to Bobby Hamilton today. Is it over? He goes, it is, for now. Alan?
All right, so what'll tonight's headline be? A continuing driver feud or a new championship leader? We'll find out when the green flag waves next at Indianapolis Raceway Park. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. In hurry-up mode tonight here at IRP, here's your look at the starting lineup. Shane Neal has taken advantage of a provision in the rule book. Even though he's on the pole, he's starting on the outside front row for the green in this one.
And back in Mike Bliss back in row 9, and look, back in row 10 on the inside, the NASCAR Busch Series points leader, Scott Riggs.
And the rest of the starting field for tonight's race from Indianapolis Raceway Park, 43 strong, set to go 200 laps on this 0.6 of a mile track. And we'll see how much, let's see, we got 43 cars, 4 fenders apiece. We'll see how many of them are intact by the time we get done.
It'll be a lot less, I guarantee you.
I'm not doing the math on that. I'll just let you add that up at home. Thank you very much. Great crowd on hand tonight, as always, here at IRP, and they're all standing up right now as the field comes off turn 4 for the green flag, and the Kroger 200 is underway.
Busch in the 800 Ditech car.
That was fine. Just ahead of Jason Keller.
Shane Meal really took advantage of that outside line, got a great start, and kind of moving away a little bit.
Shane Meal, the leader. David Green, second. Brian Vickers, third. Fourth is Kyle Busch. Kevin Grubb pressuring him there for fifth. Looking back, here's Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25 and Mike Skinner in the 7 for 8 and 9.
And this is Tim Fedewa on board the Supercuts car.
12 machine running back in 17.
And Skinner in that 7 car on the inside trying to go forward. But Elliott's a tough plowing down there.
It is. It's just so flat down there on the bottom. You got to root around a little bit. Mike Skinner's a veteran. He'll definitely be able to do that. And he's moving up. He has passed a few cars and making his way to the front.
Mike Skinner's first NASCAR Busch Series race since September 22nd, 2001. Didn't have any ride a couple of weeks ago. This weekend he's running 3 times. Right? Ran the Craftsman truck here last night. The Busch Series race tonight. He's in the Brickyard 400 tomorrow. That's Martin Truex.
Martin Truex Jr. in the 58 car. Joey Clanton in the 27 trim spot trying to get by and is about to lose a spot on the inside. It's Casey Kane behind him trying to get by. Back to Hamilton Jr.
It's tough. You just got to set the guys up so like a corner before here. You really got to get a good run at them going down the back stretch or front stretch. Try to roll up under them in the middle of the corner and pray for that forward bite. I think you're going to hear a lot about forward bite tonight as these guys get their tires nice and hot as long as we run on under green flag conditions.
Ron Hornaday in the 2 trying to move up. Qualified back in 16th position. And Hamilton Jr. being persistent, trying to get by David Stremme in the 1. How about 5th place? Jason Keller putting some pressure on Kevin Grubb.
He's on the inside, but you just can't get the grip down there that you can on the outside. You run out of banking.
You run out of banking. You see how it's flat under the white dotted line right there. When he tries to go across, it loosens the car up too much. Kevin Grubb gets a good run off the corner. You got to settle back in behind him, and you got to try him again here in a few laps.
Nice job by Kevin Grubb qualifying. 5th place for that team.
Great job for Kevin, those guys. They need a good run. They've had some bad luck here lately, so hopefully they'll have a good time tonight.
Fellow Virginian.
Raced against him in late model some and had a great time doing it. So hopefully, I'm kind of pulling for him. All the Virginia guys.
He's doing a good job to hang on to that spot over Jason Keller, who obviously has a little bit faster car right now. Check a little farther back. David Stremme in the 1. Home state Indiana guy.
And looks like Jason Keller's going to finally get by Kevin Grubb in the 26.
Nice and smooth.
Took him a few laps. He thought he'd burn his tires up too bad, though, and got a nice clean track ahead of him, and I bet you we'll see him pull away here.
So Jason Keller up to 5th place, and Kevin Grubb back to 6th. Keller got a little bit of ground to make up to catch 4th place Kyle Busch. He's about a 1.5 seconds behind him. So Shane Meal got the jump on the start and has led all of the 9 laps we've completed so far. David Green trying to close in and put on a little bit of pressure for the number 1 spot. At Indianapolis Raceway Park, Shane Meal in the 48 leads just underway here. 16 laps complete, but David Green is putting an awful lot of pressure on him.
He's putting lots of pressure on him, and Shane Meal's trying to figure out which line to take to pass these lap cars, and a couple of times it looks like he has chosen the wrong one, but David Green has tried, but not able to pass him so far.
Yeah, David's doing a good job just following through the traffic, letting Shane make the holes, use his tires up. David following through, save a little rubber in case he tries to make a clear track pass in a little bit.
Elliott Sadler joining BP&I for tonight's race. Elliott going to start the Brickyard 400 in 16th position tomorrow. We'll talk to you about that a little bit later on. Meantime, got a good race going here for the lead and in some heavy lap traffic.
I'll tell you, Brian Vickers is closing in on the leaders also. They're going to have a 3-way battle here in a minute, and I think it's whoever chooses the right lines through the lap cars is going to make a big difference.
It's 49 car, Tammy Jo Kirk, they're going by. Oh, we got a big crash over turn 3.
Trouble turn 3. Stacy Compton, Martin Truex, and Joey Clanton. And the caution's out for the first time. Well, you knew it was just a matter of time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised it went this long, actually.
Those guys are racing hard, too.
Yeah. All right, let's check it out. Joey Clanton, who got his first top 5 Busch Series finish of his rookie season a week ago.
And you can tell folks that noise is not good. Oh, my goodness.
He got it both ends. All right, what happened?
That's him trying to get under the 58 car. Just got in the corner a little bit too hard, make contact, and both cars back around the fence. And Stacy Compton had no place to go except in the wreck.
That happens a lot here, though, Benny. When you get in on that apron going into turn 3, you see his left side tires going to this white line. Going in here, and he goes in a little hard, tries to slide into him, and the back end comes around on him, hit him, and that's it.
What is it Schrader likes to say? He took the air off his spoiler, and then he hit him? All right, since Stacy Compton just kind of swept up in the aftermath, you see the damage there to the Martin Truex car, and Joey Clanton has brought his heavily wounded machine onto pit road. None of the leaders have pitted here, so we'll take a break. Under caution for the first time at Indianapolis Raceway Park. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Indianapolis Raceway Park is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. By Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. And Sears Craftsman. Craftsman has the right tool for every project. Craftsman at Sears.
We saw this sign during the commercial breaks. Folks, check this out. It says USAC ticket, $25. So NASCAR Busch Series.
Over 200 ticket, yeah.
$52. Seeing Tony Stewart win the Brickyard 400, priceless.
Way to go.
Way to go, son.
Under caution still as they clean things up. 3-car accident involving Joey Clanton, among others. Ralph?
Well, his trim spot number 27 is tore up pretty bad, as you can see. Joey, what happened?
Well, I mean, you know, trying to make laps out there, and Martin Truex in front of me had just got into the wall the lap before, and I mean, it's my fault. I mean, he checked up early. I guess he probably had something going wrong, and I got in under him, and we were running off all them lap cars real quick, and I just got into him and tried to stay off of him and turn mine around to save it. So it's all my fault. Just trying to make laps here, and I mean, lap cars just take away so much racetrack. It's unbelievable.
Joey Clanton's hoping they get his car fixed, get him back out there, let him get some laps, and hopefully get some points. To Mark Garrow.
Ralph, that was a close call for Scott Riggs. He was behind those 2 cars. He slammed on the brakes to miss the wreck. And always when you do that, there's a danger somebody will hit you from behind. Luckily, they didn't. However, they had to check the car for flat spotting, maybe a fender rub. They found it to be okay, so he stayed out. And right now, guys, a little tight in the middle of the corner. He's not able to get on the gas as quickly as he'd like to.
What happened to Hamilton Jr.?
Bobby Hamilton has just blown up on the caution flag.
Oh, that's a lot of smoke. That does not look good at all.
They were coming to the green flag, and suddenly the smoke from Hamilton Jr.'s car, they waved off the restart.
It looks like the car is still running, Hamilton's car, so maybe an oil line has broken on the car.
Weird.
Be an oil line or something. Y'all get in here and get the hood up. See what
Harold
we got.
Holly, their crew chief, telling him to get it on in pit road. Check this out.
To the pit. Coming to the pit.
Wow, just all of a sudden. And I think it is an oil line. I think Benny hit it right on it. It's got to be.
He just had run through the accident site there, so I wonder if he kicked up something that got missed and cut that line.
And Mark Garrow just a moment ago talked about Scott Riggs barely missing that crash. He picked up 3 spots in that crash. He was running 19th. He's now running 16th, but he barely avoided that.
Harold Holly, Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s crew chief, waiting for his car.
Go back to this crash just a moment ago. See all the cars crashing. Now, Scott Wimmer's going to go through, and right behind him is the 10-car Scott Riggs.
That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, Benny.
Yeah.
These points guys looking for that break. He wants to get up in front so he don't have to worry about these types of wrecks in front of him. He wants to keep that stuff behind him. A lucky break for the 10 car. Hopefully he can take advantage of it.
Ralph, what do you see on that 25?
Well, Alan, they've got the hood up on it right now. The crew is working underneath it, checking a look at it. They do believe it is an oil line. They do believe it has fallen off. Now, it looks like they're going to try to maybe, they still got the engine. Now the engine has shut off. They're going to have to get in there, get it fixed, and the NASCAR officials are here watching to make sure everything is taken care of properly before they'll release this car back out onto the racetrack.
All right, and I had to bring some oil dry out in large quantities and dust down the Indianapolis Raceway Park Oval, so the yellow continues. And we take advantage of the extended caution to squeeze in another break. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Check our Wendy's race menu. Tomorrow it's the Brickyard 400 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Coverage starting with Discover Card Countdown to Green, 2 Eastern Time, NBC tomorrow. Elliott Sadler will be in that race. You like Frosties?
Yeah, I think I can eat a Frosty.
It would be really good. You mix some M&Ms in the Frosty.
Then it would be a great Frosty.
There you go.
And Bobby Hamilton Jr. taking the Marines car behind pit wall to work on it.
Tough for the sixth place man
Green flag.
in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. Back underway.
Boy, and I tell you, the 48 car of Shane Meal did not get a very good start.
It looks like he kind of missed a shift or something, Benny. They all stacked up a little bit, but looks like he got it going now, and guys getting back racing again.
Now, they're going to be free of lap traffic for a few circuits around. Probably a good opportunity for David Green if he can try and do anything with Shane. Although on the opening few laps after the green flag, Shane got away, and David didn't catch him until they got into lap traffic.
Yeah, Shane's car is definitely great on short runs. That's probably why he qualified on the pole today. But we'll have to wait and see. David was able to run him down here a little while ago, and we'll see if he can do it again.
And check out this 2-car of Ron Hornaday. We'll go back to the race for third spot between Hendrick Motorsports drivers, the 5-car Brian Vickers, the 87 of Kyle Busch.
I tell you, I've been very impressed with Brian Vickers this year. He's had a great season. Had terrible luck last week at Pikes Peak getting into somebody else's accident, but great finishes. I think he's right on the verge of his first win here in the Busch Series.
Brian lost 58 points with that crash at Pikes Peak last week, but he's still 5th place in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship and only 124 points behind leader Scott Riggs, so he's right in the thick of it. Shane Meal leads. David Green is 2nd, Brian Vickers 3rd, Kyle Busch is 4th, Jason Keller is 5th, and the rest of the lead group would be Kevin Grubb in 6th, Ron Hornaday in 7th, and Mike Skinner in 8th. And just a few car lengths of empty racetrack. Back to 9th place David Stremme, and a race for 10th between Tim Fedewa and Ashton Lewis.
See all these cars following each other in line, and here comes Vickers on the bottom of the racetrack challenging for 2nd spot.
He's trying. He's gonna, you really got to try to set these guys up, get a good run off the corner like I said before, and just slide up maybe a little. You might have to slide a little bit when you get beside these guys, and David probably give him some room of running for the points, and you don't want to risk too much.
There you go. Here's that race between Fedewa and Ashton Lewis. Timmy's in the 12, Ashton in the 46, and Scott Wimmer joining in the 23. Scott's trying to pull off another one of these runs that he came to trademark at the end of last season. Start in the back and race your way to the front.
He definitely did that a bunch last year, but I'll tell you what just happened there with Tim Fedewa. He was trying to pass Ashton Lewis. He got on the bottom, got a little loose. Scott Wimmer got on the outside of him and made the pass. That's a chance you take here at IRP. You get on the bottom, these guys behind you can really get on the outside of you, trap you down, and make the pass on you. So it's a double-edged sword sometimes here at IRP.
Tim Fedewa in the 12 car for Fitz Bradshaw Racing, just outside the top 10 in 12th position right now.
There we see Fedewa, started in 15th.
Just his 3rd race with the team as its driver. Nothing changed up front. Still just a couple of car lengths between 1st and 2nd and 2nd and 3rd.
And just a few laps ago, a couple of laps ago, the 37 car of David Green was twice as far behind the 49 car. Shane Meal in 48, caught a lap car. And it looks like that David Green is able to get through traffic a little bit better because he gained about 6 or 7 car lengths just passing that one slower car.
Well, David Green's been around a long time too, Benny. He knows how to set the lap cars up where you need to, where it does not kill your momentum. He's a veteran of this sport, so I think that has a lot to play with it also. And Shane Meal better enjoy his clean racetrack right now, because it's not going to be long. He's going to be catching the tail end of the field, and you're really going to have to be dicing it up again.
5 of David Green's 7 NASCAR Busch Series wins have come on short tracks, like we're racing on tonight. He's running 2nd right now, while his rival for the Busch Series title, his main rival at this point of the season, Scott Riggs, is back in 15th. Inside, Brian Vickers, no. Saw Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s car go behind the wall a little while ago. Ralph?
Well, he's sitting here up on jack stands, and the guys have him starting the car and stopping the car. Bobby, any idea what's wrong with this?
I think it's leaking oil between the head and the block where the plate goes over. We're not for sure. But it's a shame for all these guys. They bust their butt on this car all week long, but this ain't gonna bother us. We're still gonna go to Michigan and kick their butts there. So we'll try to get in safe seats, get us some laps, and go win Michigan.
How tough will that be for them to fix?
Well, right now they can't find it, you know, so it's just kind of a situation to trying to find anything. And if we can, we can. If we can't, we'll go from here.
Oh, Alan, they were 205 points behind Riggs coming into tonight, and I can tell you there is at least 8 guys buried under the engine cover of this car trying to figure out where that oil is coming from.
And how in the world can you find it? Because there's so much oil. When he had that problem, it just covered the engine compartment in oil. And now it's just more oil.
Yeah, it seemed like the guys are going to have to clean the whole block, heads and everything, and then start the motor up and see where it's coming from. So it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, so I feel sorry for those guys right now.
Leaders caught the tail end of the field again. As we watch a race for 4th, Jason Keller on the move here around Kyle Busch.
And that was a great, very impressive pass by Jason Keller.
As a smart move by Kyle Busch, too. Get in behind Jason. He caught him. Maybe follow him around a little bit and see where he's making up ground, so maybe he can learn something later on in the race.
I talked with Jason earlier in the weekend. He said this is the only racetrack he has gotten 2 Busch Series victories at. And while he normally goes into a weekend saying, I want to win, a top 5 will be good for points, he said nothing less than a victory tonight will be acceptable.
Oh, blown engine in turn 1. 73 car.
Jason Schuler.
No caution yet.
I say a blown engine. It might have been a transmission, drive shaft, something like that.
Yeah, look at underneath.
I think that's the drive shaft dragging the ground.
And that drive shaft is tied up like a pretzel if it is. So Jason Schuler goes to the sidelines, but we stay under the green flag. Now we're starting to get to a point in the race where a couple things are happening. First, I started to mention the leaders have caught the tail end of the field again. Second, we're about to hit 50 laps. Another caution here, and we're going to see a lot of pit stops. This is a race where track position is everything, and we may see an awful lot of guys just make one trip to pit road for service in this race.
Yeah, they may try to run 150 laps without stopping.
I tell you, we were talking about earlier, I had 2 great finishes here 2 years in a row, and the strategy we had before we even loaded our car on the truck to come to this racetrack, when we know we could go the rest of the way on fuel, we pit, and that's it. I could cut my radio off. I could not come back to pit road because track position is so important here at this racetrack. So I think you're going to see a lot of guys pit when the next caution comes out. If the guys are running further in the back, they might take 2 tires to try to get up front. We'll definitely see the front guys take 4 and see what happens.
Mark, you got something to add to that?
Well, one driver, one of the top contenders, Alan, may have already made that one pit stop. Johnny Sauter, the Payday Chevrolet, very, very tight, so they felt like they had to come in. They changed right side tires. However, they came in a couple of laps later when the 1 to go signal went out. They topped off, and that was on lap 27 that they came in. They believe they can go the rest of the way. They are counting on the fact they will get 15 to 20 laps of caution. If they get it, they're golden. If not, they're going to run out very close to the end of the race.
How about that?
Wow.
That's a long ways on fuel.
That is a very, very long ways. And at the end of that run, he's going to be slipping and sliding all over the racetrack with the tires as worn as they're going to be.
Tell you what, we haven't had very many cautions for a normal IRP race yet, but the night is still young. We're just past the 1/4 mark here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Shane Meal has led all of the laps so far. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Challenge and change for second position. Brian Vickers just squeezing in front of David Green as we come back to Indianapolis Raceway Park in the Kroger 200.
And here comes Jason Keller in that 57.
I tell you, that 57 is running. He has run these guys down. You see him look under David Green there for a pass in turn 3 and 4. Probably going to get around this lap card and try to start working on him and try to work his way up, try to get 5 bonus points.
Just behind these cars, Bobby Hamilton Jr. back on track in the 25 car. Unfortunately, 28 laps down in 38th position. Costly night in the championship for Hamilton Jr. Let's Let's go back to this pack of cars here. You got Tim Fido on the 12 in 12th position.
Paul Menard in 55.
13.
Scott Riggs in the 10 car.
Yep, that's your championship leader back at 14. These cars have not pitted yet. Stacy Compton in the 59. Remember, he was in the accident. But the only caution we've had, lap 21, when he basically spun around to avoid piling into Joey Clanton and Martin Truex, came down pit road, put on fresh tires, started at the back of the pack. He just went through all of these cars on the fresh tires, passed them all.
He sure did on a track where it's not supposed to be easy to pass. He blew right by some really good race cars and is pulling away from them. So I really commend Stacy and those guys for getting the fenders all pushed back out and fresh tires. And hey, that's something to look forward to for the end of the night's over with. If fresh tires are that fast, see what kind of pit strategy these guys will have.
And that's what we're talking about by Johnny Sauter just a moment ago in the 21 car. If Busch is expecting, the crew chief Busch Hilton is expecting him to run 160, 70 laps, he's going to be really slipping and sliding versus the competition.
Last year's race here, Greg Biffle and Jason Keller were the two dominant drivers and cars on the night. They pitted with 25 laps to go for tires, restarted 6th and 7th, and took the lead away from Scott Riggs with 10 laps to go. Now, Riggs had a tire going down, which helped them catch him a little faster than it might. It was going to be really close, I thought. Be interesting to see who makes that late pit stop and tries to make the big charge through the field tonight.
I think it makes a big difference, too, on how many cars are on the lead lap when you get down to that stage of the race. If Shane Mill keeps running these lap times and catching these cars like he is, with less cars on the lead lap, I think you have a better shot of doing that, coming in late, putting fresh tires on it, and taking your chances with it.
Right now, we only have 22 cars on the lead lap.
Uncharacteristically long time under green for this race. 43 cars on this racetrack, and we've only had one caution.
These guys are behaving very well.
It must not be a full moon or something. I don't know. Record for fewest cautions in one of these races, by the way, is 0. 1985, this Kroger 200 went caution-free here at IRP. Again, that's not the norm. Most cautions, 13.
Yeah, that's what I was always thinking of. An average of probably 6 or 7 caution flags per event.
Shane Mill, the race leader, up by about 7 car lengths on Brian Vickers, catching some more traffic. Vickers trying to run him down, take the lead away. 68 of 200 laps complete here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. NASCAR on TNT at Indianapolis Raceway Park, where Brian Vickers in the 5 is all over the bumper of Shane Mill in the 48 for the race lead.
He's been trying to pass him on the inside. That time they ran across Brent Moore and blocked the advance of the 5 car, but he's going to try to get off turn 4. Mark, what you got going on in the pits?
Well, Benny, the 48, that is a brand new car. They decided after Milwaukee they needed something better for the short tracks, and Steve and Shane talked them into building a drop snout car. They finished it on Wednesday, took it to Greenville Pickens on Thursday in South Carolina, ran about 30 laps. Shane said, I really love the way this car pivots in the corner, and they were good to go. They brought it here, and obviously it's an improved piece over what they had in Milwaukee. Right behind them, Brian Vickers has had a pretty busy week. Of course, he's 19 years old. His teammate back in 5th, Kyle Busch, is 18, and they went and talked to a bunch of other school kids in Philadelphia early this week at the Urban Youth Racing School. There were kids there from 8 to 18, and that's a school sponsored by GMAC to introduce city kids to racing. They trained them to drive a miniature car, so they went from Philadelphia, and they bopped over here to Indy.
Fantastic.
I noticed Mark said other school kids. Kyle and Brian are both young enough to be school age still.
I tell you, he's steady working on him. He's up under him right now, getting off turn 2. But they're getting ready to get into a lot of lap traffic also. So we'll see what kind of moves these guys can make.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be big here.
85 cars. John Hayden, last car in the lead lap in 21st position.
29 car is Marty Lindley.
Son of the great Butch Lindley.
That's right, who was a dominant figure in this NASCAR Busch Series race in the sportsman division before that.
I remember going to South Boston Speedway as a kid, watching him run that orange 16 round and round at that place, playing in the dirt and watching those guys go around. So I was a big fan of his father's.
For now, Vickers got held up getting through the traffic a little bit more. So he's off. Shane Meals bump a little. That 29 car is a Richard Childress Racing entry for Marty Lindley. Marty had arranged the ride with Richard because he had a sponsor to come do the race. Then the sponsor backed out of the deal, and RC said, let's go do it anyway.
Very, very nice of him. Again, I talked to Richard Childress just before this race and not down the garage you're in. He also was a fan of Butch Lindley.
That's just great class. I mean, Richard Childress has been around this sport a long time. He knows the ups and downs of sponsorships and young guys trying to make their way into the sport. So that's great of him to go ahead and let Marty come here, get some laps, get some great experience. So definitely commend him on that.
Marty Lindley spending most of his time in the USAR Series, the Hooters Cup Series. He's third in their championship so far this season. So the leader's gotten by him, put him a lap down. Marty's running in 20th spot now. Now the second place man, Brian Vickers, trying to hold off David Green for that spot as they continue in this heavy pack of traffic.
Mike Wallace in the 4 car, trying to keep him going a lap down to Shane Meal in 48, trying his best.
I tell you, we talked about the 21 car, Johnny Sauter coming in, getting tires, see if he can go the rest of the way on fuel. He is not a long ways from getting a lap down right now, so if this fuel thing's going to pay off, he definitely has to stay ahead of the 48 car.
He hadn't made any progress on those tires, not like Stacy Compton did.
Maybe the car's still tight. Herb and Butch helped, and the car was too tight. They made the adjustments. Maybe it's just not working out for them as what they planned so far.
He's 18th place, and now he is last on the lead lap, Johnny Sauter. So he needs a caution, but now. So Shane Meal has separated himself from second place Brian Vickers in some of the lap traffic. And we stay under green as we come up on halfway at Indianapolis Raceway Park and the NASCAR Busch Series on TNT. Check the old Stacker 2 racetrack. Good omen for winning the NASCAR Busch Series Championship lately. He's been winning this race at IRP. 3 of the last 5 years, the winner here has gone on to win the big trophy at the end of the season.
So David Green would love to win this race tonight.
Scott Wimmer having a great drive tonight. You see he's gained more positions than anyone else in the field so far. Maybe he's the guy that's going to win the race in the championship. What do you think, Mark?
Well, Alan, certainly last year at the end of the year, the hottest team on the planet won 4 of the last 8 races, and it looks like they're again getting ready for a second half surge. I just talked to crew chief Chris Rice. He said the car's a little tight, needs a little bit more bite coming off the corners. Otherwise, they're in pretty good shape.
I tell you, I talked to Chris Rice this afternoon, and he said his car was a little loose in qualifying, but they needed it like that to be good tonight on the long run, that he really felt confident about his car, him and Scott both, and seems to be paying off. Scott is really moving up and been checking his lap times. He's running 2 to 3 tenths quicker than our leader's been doing, so he's moving up.
You get some history with Chris, right?
I do. Chris Rice used to be my crew chief in late model stock cars, and I started doing Busch racing, so I was so happy when he won his first ever Busch race last week with Scott. I called him. Plus, they brought in my cousin to spot tonight, who used to spot for me in late models in Busch racing. He spotted for Scott last week. They won the race. They brought Sam in again tonight, so he might be the good luck charm.
Not taking any chances. Check it out. David Stremme in the 1 has just been lapped by the leaders, and he's not going down easy.
No, he knows if those guys ever get in front of him, it's
And they have, and he realizes, but he's got to try to keep up with him as best he can, because if the caution flag were to come out, maybe they'd be gentlemen and let him have a lap back. Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not.
I'm like Alan. Not much gentleman stuff going on the racetracks here the last few months in racing. It's been a lot of hard racing back to the line.
Well, what do you think about that?
I think we need to do something about it. I mean, gentlemen agreements were made with, Darrell Walter, Kel Yarvin, people like that. Back then, when you always try to give the guys a break if they wreck, to get the crews, the firemen out to the drivers. I wish NASCAR, they're trying to work on it, but until they can get something that's 100% foolproof, as far as freezing the field when the caution comes out, I think all the drivers will be better off. When we see one of our peers getting a wreck, we want to see the fire and safety get to them as quick as we can. So hopefully something in the near future will happen with that.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Vickers. He's a little bit faster now than Shane Meal in his 48 car. If he can get in front of him, I think he can drive away. But catching and passing, as we keep talking about, 2 entire different things.
Has he got him this time? Coming up on another slower car down on the inside lane.
That's hurting Brian a lot. Seems like every time he tries to get some momentum up, they run into the back of a slow car who will stand on the inside of the track, taking his line away. He has to get behind Shane and follow him for a couple more laps.
Vickers has to give it up this time and fall back in line as they work through the traffic.
Oh, Shane Meal almost in the outside retaining wall.
They talked about when we came on the air, weather was threatening. There have been thunder showers all in and around Indiana throughout the night tonight. When they come to the start-finish line this time, they hit halfway in the race. Anything after that, if the weather interferes, we'll see.
On the apron.
On the apron of the racetrack, Brian Vickers in that 5 car. You know, Shane Meal has, his spotter has told him also, he's looked in the rearview mirror and seen the line that the 5 car is running. He moved down a couple of laps to try that line and see if his car would pick up, but it doesn't appear as he liked it there. He moved back up the track now.
Yeah, I mean, every car's set up different, and I think he probably moved down 1 to take away Brian's entry into the corner, but 2, just to try to, hey, the 5 car's catching you, he's on the bottom, try this deal. Didn't work out, but Shane knows his car is good on the outside. He's going to make Vickers try to pace him on the bottom.
And we haven't even mentioned the 37 car who has caught these two. David Green, the Wolf.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there in 3rd spot right behind these 2 guys.
You know, a lot of guys talk about their slipping and sliding. You know, Brian looking for that apron makes me think of Homestead, where we saw guys driving on the apron on that flat racetrack last year saying that that's where the most grip on the pavement was.
That's exactly right. And what it does is just, you know, we race in the same line all the time, and that track temperature builds up from the heat of these Goodyear tires. So you go to the apron, the track temperature is a lot cooler there, you get more grip. Until at Homestead, everybody was running on the apron, so that became slick also.
How about that David Green car, Ralph?
Well, Alan, he was a little bit tight in the center of the corner, but that has gotten worse now. Now he's tight not only in the center, but he's tight off it as well. He also had a little bit of a problem with the water temperature. He got up to about 235 degrees, but they don't seem to be too concerned about it just yet.
Well, if he's too tight, that's working for him. Because he's faster than those 2 cars in front of him.
As they run, David Green running in 3rd, Scott Riggs in 14th, and Jason Keller is in 4th place. Just joining us, haven't missed much here at IRP. Shane Meal in the 48 started on the pole. He's led all of the 105 laps they've completed so far. 1 caution flag in the race at lap 21 when Joey Clanton and Martin Truex Jr. got together in turn 3, collecting Stacy Compton. Clanton out of the race. Truex and Compton have continued. Lead lap 17 of the 43 starters. And the only other major headline of the night so far, Bobby Hamilton Jr. with an oil leak problem on his car has been in and out of the garage area a couple of times. He's back on track 59 laps down in 38th place.
Oh,
These guys are getting racy.
they are. Vickers had a terrific run on Shane Meal that time. Has another good run. Off turn 2.
Nope.
And we've been on the green a long time, guys, so forward bite here is a big issue right now. I know Vickers is probably wishing he had a little bit more. He gets on the apron, gets the car turned, and just can't let his car wash up and keep it straight enough. Spins the tires a little bit, and Shane pulls back around in front of him.
Oh, here we go. 77 cars slid up in front of the leader, Dana White. Lead change in lap traffic.
Nice move.
Well, I'm going to throw that one on the lap car. Lap cars are supposed to stay on the bottom, and White got into the corner too hot and slid right up in front of the leader and boxed him in. But Brian Vickers able to take advantage and hang the left. And we've got a new leader here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers out in front. We're just past halfway, and we have been under the green for a long time. These guys would love to have some fresh tires. Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the caution has just come out. We'll show you why in a minute. Here come the leaders for a much-needed stop on pit road, and probably the only stop they'll make this race.
So now becomes a battle. Who is going to win it off pit road? Scott Wimmer's there, Mark.
He's one of the first guys in, Benny. It looks like he sustained some right side damage. They've gone around and changed tires that way. They've also made an adjustment over there to try to loosen up the car just a little bit and give it a little bit more bite. They're on around the left-hand side, and now let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Brian Vickers, the race leader, is in. He's taking 4 tires and fuel. They can make an adjustment left side air. He was just a little bit tight with this car. Kerry Earnhardt stops just in front of him. David Green right in front of that. He's taking tires and fuel as well. And Vickers away, had trouble getting out in front of some of the guys from Kerry Earnhardt's crew, kind of blocking his exit a little bit, but he's away.
And Ron Hornaday, the 2 car, the AC Delco car, has won the battle off pit road.
Shane Meal stalled his car, hesitated a little bit leaving his stall, as did Jason Keller, but the big loser on that set of stops, David Green in the 37. He went in third of the cars that stopped, 3, 6, 9. He's going to be 10th coming off pit road.
I tell you, pit crews, I mean, that's why those guys practice week in and week out, 7 days a week, to make sure when we come down pit road, those guys can get us back out in the position we came in. And this is what they live for. They want to see your driver come down in a running for the lead, and they can do the best they can and get you back out and fix the guys pumped up.
All right, let's show you what put us under caution. Remember, the 77 car was the one that was involved in the change of lead a minute ago?
Dana White off turn 2, around he goes, and there's Scott Wimmer, the 23, just barely getting by. On board the Wimmer as he goes down in turn 1.
Safe to say he got a little help here.
I don't know, the 1 car might have gotten in him, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll put some money
Might
on
have
it.
helped him some. A great move by Scott Wimmer. Close.
So Ron Hornaday is the leader off the pit stops. And what happened on David Green's stop? Let's see if we can find out.
There he is, the 37 car, all the cars leaving, and he's trying to back up because the 26 car has him blocked in. I measured those pits down there before I came up. They're 9 steps long. A race car was 6 steps long.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, BP, all short tracks have short pit boxes. We always run into that at Martinsville and Bristol and places like that. And it's tough because you want to get in as straight as you can for your pit guys to make all the right adjustments, make sure they can hit the lugs. But sometimes those guys will pull in front of you because Kevin Grubb did not have a great angle getting into his pit, so he had to leave his tail out. David Green had to back up. Very costly.
So track position changes hands on the pit stop. Ron Hornaday went in 5th, came out with the lead. Brian Vickers shuffled back to 2nd, followed by Shane Meal. Scott Wimmer moves up to 4th. Jason Keller 5th. David Green back to 10th behind Ashton Lewis, Stacy Compton, Kyle Busch, and Mike Skinner.
Here the cars come. Restart.
Flag, green flag, green flag.
Mr. Restart gets him a good jump as usual, Ron Hornaday.
Now let's see if he can hold off Vickers.
They had a great pit stop to put Ron out in the lead. He was not running that well coming in, and guys must have busted off a great one to give him that track position. And it's going to be tough passing him. He knows how to make that AC Delco call very wide.
Vickers is hunting.
He's turned left and just turned under the 2 car. Has position off turn 2.
He has not made the pass yet, though.
I thought he was going to slide up into him there for a second.
I did, too. He did a good job holding his car down. Here comes Shane Meal. That's what I was talking about earlier. He takes the chance on the bottom. If he does not complete the pass, Shane Meal will try to trap him down on the inside and follow the 2 car to 2nd place. So we'll see what happens.
Vickers knows right now is his best time with these fresh tires to get by Hornaday. If they put 20, 30 laps on those tires get hot, he's going to be awfully hard to pass. But he's pretty hard to pass with these cold tires.
So you got him this time. Got those left side tires on that apron. The new leader, Brian Vickers. Coming into today, Shane Meal had only led 91 laps in his NASCAR Busch Series career.
Wow.
Led more than that here at IRP.
And he wants to get back to do it some more. 107 was not enough for him.
So Vickers back out in front. Here's Shane Meal for 2nd by Hornaday. The 1 car, David Stremme, is the 1st car a lap down in 18th place. Next one on the lead lap will be Scott Wimmer in the Stacker 2 car.
That's him as he closes in on the back of Stremme.
He doesn't want to mess with Stremme long. He wants to kind of get by him as quick as he can without using up his tires. I think he needs to save them. He wants to try to work his way up the battle with Vickers or Shane Meal.
All right, so after the shuffle of pit stops and track position, Brian Vickers has reassumed the lead at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We're on the short side of the laps here. 81 left to go. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Indianapolis Raceway Park is brought to you by Fridays. Eat what you love where you eat at Fridays. AC Delco Automotive Parts, when the right way is the only way. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. And Advil, for strong, long-lasting relief, advance to Advil. 75 laps to go here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers and Shane Meal back into the top 2 spots. Big mess in turn 1. Ashton Lewis, Kyle Busch, caution flags out.
Looks like some pretty heavy damage to the back of Ashton Lewis's car, but it's moving. Also some damage to the left front.
I don't think it's going to roll too far. That thing looked like it took a bad bump going backwards there. Kyle Busch has a lot of right front damage.
3rd caution of the race. Kyle started 4th. Was running 11th, and Ashton was running 10th. So they were racing for that spot. Last lap by into turn 1, and it did not go well for them. It's tough for Ashton. He's really had a spate of late race misfortunes that have cost him a lot of good finishes this year.
He's really been running good too, and then just bad luck gets you sometimes. You get in that hole.
Ever see him making contact going down in the corner?
Kyle's going to feel bad about that.
Yeah, Kyle's been doing a great job racing here this year, not only in this series but also in the ARCA, and just looks like just got a little bit loose getting in and had to correct it a little bit, and just Ashton was the not the beneficiary of it.
So caution is out. Don't expect to see any of the leaders in. They've made the only pit stop they're going to make. We take a break here in the Kroger 200 in Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers is your leader. Denny's wants to put you behind the wheel with the Richard Petty driving experience. Log on to NASCAR.com for information about the Denny's Dash sweepstakes. Plus, be sure to tune in to NBC. August 30th, watch live NASCAR Busch Series racing from Darlington as Denny's presents the South Carolina 200 from the great old Darlington Raceway. Under caution with a crash involving Kyle Busch and Ashton Lewis, Ralph.
Well, Ashton, your cars have been torn up on you so much this year. I hate it for you again, but what happened?
Just racing with Kyle. I don't know. Just he said he liked up the brakes getting in there and got into us. It's unfortunate we didn't have the qualifying run we wanted to and start 13th and drove it up to 7th. And guys did an awesome job on the pit stop, got me out in 6th, and just really waiting for the car to come back in. We were extremely good on the long runs and just buying through traffic, and somebody just got impatient. It's a shame for the whole Silver Air Patrol crew. I mean, this Chevrolet Monte Carlo is running well, and we've torn some cars this year, and not many of them are fault, just like this one, and it's a shame because we get them back together and get them fast. We just need to get to the finish line.
You were pretty frustrated when you got out of the car. How much of that was due to Kyle, and how much of it was just due to the fact of the kind of luck you've had this year?
It's just a little bit of both. I mean, the only thing he's got to realize is we got guys out there running for points, and I know he didn't mean to do it on purpose, but you know, I know it's short track racing, things happen fast, but you got to realize what you're racing around, who you're racing around, and I like to think I'm a pretty clean driver and give guys a lot of room when you need to. And when we were coming up in this sport and we were making our mark in it, we weren't wrecking people to get to the front. We were still having good runs, and I think some people just need to learn that too.
There you go.
Ashton Lewis is out. Now, Scott Raich, your championship leader, coming into the race, 15th place.
And you can see that left rear tire, the sticker on the tire tells you he just made a pit stop, changed 4 tires, made some adjustments. He has not progressed very well tonight.
Yeah, he had nothing to lose, BP. He came in, they tried to make probably their final adjustment and then see what happens. They're going to try to have to get all the points they can to get to David Green. And like you say, has not moved up at all. So maybe these tires will work out a little better for him. And but track position is not in his favor right now. I think he wants everybody to behave on this restart and hopes he can make it.
He was 15th at the caution flag, last on the lead lap. Nothing to lose by making that pit stop.
Green flag, green flag.
Scott Wimmer had some problems getting up to speed. And look at Shane Mio to the inside for the race lead.
Wow, he's going to come off turn 2 and lean against that 5 car. Now the slide job in 3.
These guys know the cooler the tires, now's the time you need to pass. So I think that's why Shane's taking this chance to try to get by him here on this restart.
Great battle for the lead in turn 1. But Vickers is not giving it up that easily.
Shane Mio is through. Whoa.
Clear.
How about a crossover? Vickers looks back to the inside. Nothing doing. Here comes Hornaday to join the fight. And Wimmer. Tell you, Wimmer, I don't know if he missed a shift on the restart or what, but he lost a bunch of ground on that restart. He's made it up fast.
His car was very good the first half of this race on the long run, and here he's trying to get on the Hornaday now for third. I think the older these tires get, I think the better that 23 car will get for the end of the race.
Scott Wimmer driving for Bill Davis for third position. And
he makes it.
He just drives by Hornaday, so those front two cars, they are going to have some company in a few laps. That company will be Scott Wimmer in the 23 car.
Jason Keller trying the same thing, getting under the 2 car here, going into back straightaway.
You know, there just gets to a point in a lot of these races where you just feel the intensity kick up a little bit. I think we hit it on that last restart.
I think those guys, they kind of sit in their seats, cinch them seat belts just a little bit tighter. They know it's getting down to business. It's go time.
63 laps to go when the leader comes to the start-finish line. This is the race for 4th, 5th, and Jason Keller still trying to work his way through Ron Hornaday. 57 and 2 are tied for third in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. Both 50 points behind Scott Riggs entering the night.
And they're about tied on the racetrack. I think Keller finally does make the pass in the 57 car.
All right, so Keller to 4th. Hornaday back to 5th, ahead of Stacy Compton and David Green, who runs 6th and 7th. Scott Riggs, no progress, still back in 15th place, and up front, it's still Shane Meal leading Brian Vickers. 3 leaders, 4 lead changes tonight so far. 60 laps to go at Indianapolis Raceway Park. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, it's the Kroger 200 NASCAR Busch Series race. 22nd running of this one tonight under the lights. Tomorrow, we're over at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400, the 10th edition of the classic midsummer race. 2 p.m. Eastern time, starting with Discover Card Countdown to Green. Championship leader Matt Kenseth starting 17th tomorrow, 1 position behind our broadcast buddy tonight, Elliott Sadler. Talk to us about your qualifying race. You were showing us something there, but it wasn't good.
No, that's a lot of tire smoke right there. It actually yanked the tire and the wheel out of my hand in turn 4 coming to the checkered flag right there. So kind of killed that lap. We tried to burn the right front fender off, but it stayed on. Start 16th. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Be a good one. We look forward to it too. 2 Eastern tomorrow, starting with Discover Card Countdown to Green. Hope that you'll be with us over on NBC. Got a good one going here tonight. About to hit the 3/4 mark of this race. Brian Vickers in the 5 is starting to poke his nose around the back of Shane Meal's 48. See if he can get the lead away.
I think it's the same thing that we saw the first 125 laps of the race or so. Brian Vickers, the 5 car, is a little bit better on longer runs than the 48. 48's a little bit better on the shorter runs. Now, Brian Vickers, he has a faster car. Can he pass it?
Yeah, and both these guys are very young, haven't been racing that long. Shane Lee getting into some lap traffic, so you know he's looking ahead. He's got his spotter on the roof going to try to talk to these guys to give him some room to let those 2 guys battle it out. So we're getting into crunch time. Of course, Scott Wimmer's not that far behind him either, so we'll see what happens.
And they're in some big lap traffic here. 77 car Dana White. Leaders will clear him. And then another 4 lap machines just up ahead. It's how Brian Vickers got by Shane Meal before. Lap traffic ran Shane up the racetrack, and Brian hooked a left and went underneath him. That was back at lap 108.
And the last time, 100 laps ago or so, it was a 37 car of David Green right behind him. Now it's the 23 of Scott Wimmer that might actually be faster than the front 2 cars.
And the 57 of Jason Keller closing in too. 22 machine Brian Tyler, former USAC open wheeler, bought a laps here at IRP. He goes to the outside. And this got to be one of the things, Elliott, that's got to really be frustrating for these leaders. The lap cars aren't all doing the same thing. They're not all laying over to the inside or running the outside. They're kind of scattering around the racetrack.
Yeah, well, you notice that with some of these guys with these yellow bumper stripes on. They don't always know to try to go to the inside and give the leaders a break, because they always tell us in our drivers meeting, hey, next week you might be in that position. You want the same respect that you need to give these guys this week. So I know Shane Meal probably learned a lesson at the beginning of the race when Brian Vickers got by him So I know he's taking his time and trying to plan his passes out a little better to protect the racetrack and make Vickers passing, and, you know, kind of an open track.
Front four in your picture. Shane Meal, Brian Vickers, Scott Wimmer, Jason Keller. We have 47 laps to go here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Follow this weekend's action live online with NASCAR.com's Track Pass. For more information, log on to NASCAR.com. Whole lot of pressure up front.
Whole lot of pressure. Shane Meal, the 48, he tried the apron that time to get by Coy Gibbs in the 18.
Brian Vickers has been hunting and pecking and searching for a way around Shane Meal for the lead. He hasn't found it yet. Do a little mini through the field for you and let you know how the top 10 are faring with their cars right now. Ralph, you go first.
Now we'll start with the leader, the number 48 car, Shane Meal. They went up on the track bar one round. He was a little tight, and they also put 4 tires on that car. Vickers went down on air pressure on the left side, trying to help it turn through the center of the corner. That's what crew chief Lance McGrew told me. He's also a little snug, but not too bad. They're pretty much just biding their time right now, trying to get a spot where they can get around him cleanly. With more on the third place car, that's Scott Wimmer. Mark Garrow?
Well, Scott Wimmer right now about 0.7 of a second behind the leader, Shane Meal. On that last pit stop, they tried to fix a tight condition and get the car more forward bite. It's still a tick tight, but it is jumping off the corners a lot better, and Wimmer thinks he can reel the top 2 cars in. Ralph?
Well, you've got Jason Keller in the 57 car running in fourth. They made a track car and an air pressure adjustment. He was tied in the center. He also stalled leaving pit road, but he seems to have bounced back from that okay. Stacy Compton in the 59 is running in 5th position. He took 4 tires, made a small air pressure adjustment, was a tiny bit loose after being tight early on in the event, but more importantly, as soon as he's done with this race, Mark, he's headed to Sturgis.
Ron Hornaday running in that 6th position, 5 seconds now behind the leaders. He led this group of cars on the restart. Right now, Ricky Byers is saying the car is fine, but they just need a long run to reel in the cars in front now.
Is this the bid that gets Brian Vickers the lead?
He had a good run, but he can't get down in the corner. Now this time he has a great run in the center of the corner. Maybe this might be it.
Not yet. Oh, it's one of the things you gotta love about this racetrack. Progressive banking. Less banking at the bottom than up top. The shorter way around is not necessarily the fastest.
I tell you, Vickers gets such a great run off each corner, but it's just hard. He cannot roll through the center of the corner with Shane, because Shane's taking his line away, so it's going to be tough. He's going to have to get a really good run off the corner to try to clear him before they can get into the next one.
He's not giving up. He continues to try, hoping that the 48 car will just slip a little bit.
There he is on the apron again. He's trying it.
All 4 of them below the line. What's this, about the 15th or 20th lap that he's taken a look underneath him? Look, fall back, look, fall back.
And here's Jason Keller right behind him, going by Scott Wimmer on the outside in the 57 car.
Yep, that's for 3rd place. Lap traffic there in front of the leaders.
Let's go get some more now. Get some more.
Jerry Reary in his NASCAR Busch Series debut in the 39 gives the front couple some running room.
I tell you, those guys running side by side too. We'll let Jason Keller close up to them, and Vickers got to make a decision. If he cannot make the pass, Jason Keller's going to trap him down on the inside, try to, and follow the 48 by him. So he's got some decisions to make here. He better try to make the pass real quick before the 57 gets there.
Lap car of Larry Gunselman ahead to contact. He backed out of it.
Man, oh man, that was so close.
Wow. The lap car was closing the lane. He was running up on quick, and he had to get back in line.
Man, did he do damage to that right front fender? I mean, yeah, really, this is a short racetrack, but they're still running 100 miles per hour, and downforce does mean something.
Let's go back and look at it.
Going down in turn 1. There you see the contact.
Wow, that was close.
It was close.
Both guys did a great job.
The damage on that right front fender of Brian Vickers' car.
We see way too much up here in the booth. I'm about to lose my cool up here. Too much stuff going on.
Oh, it's great, though, isn't it?
It is.
You're glad you came out tonight. I know you are.
I am that.
Vickers dogging Shane Meal, persistently trying to find a way around. If either one of these two guys wins, it'd be their first NASCAR Busch Series victory. And this is a track that's been very friendly to first-time winners. 4 times in the past, the guy has picked up his first Busch Series win here at IRP. Butch Miller in 1986, Joe Nemechek in 92, Tracy Leslie in 93, None other than the third-place driver, Jason Keller, 1995.
Oh, that time Shane Meal ran across the slower car, almost got in the back of him, came down the hill, almost got in contact with the 5 car of Brian Vickers.
Doesn't get much better than this. I mean, 2 guys going for their first win.
There you see that slow car. Vickers almost gets in the back of him, has to hit the brakes, but then he comes down to try to block Vickers.
That was actually a great move by Shane. He knew his momentum was slowed down so much by the lap car. He saw Vickers going to the inside. He moved down to block. Great job on his part, protecting the lead right there.
And see, everybody complains about lap cars. I love them. I mean, this is great.
They are adding excitement to this race.
And there's a lot of drama to this,
yeah,
I think.
I do agree with you.
Oh, here we go. Here's a good run. Vickers, he had a good run.
Not that time. And here comes Scott Wimmer joining the fight. How about a 4-way race for the lead as we get to 25 to go?
25 to go. The spotter's telling the drivers, get up on that wheel. Let's go.
Oh, this is terrific. Here he is again to the inside.
This is drama on TNT at its best, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The promo department write that for you, or did you come up with that yourself?
Actually, I just thought about that myself, Alan.
Very nice.
I think on my feet sometimes.
We appreciate that. Lap traffic ahead. What's it going to be? 77 car. Dana White. And the 22 car of Brian Tyler.
This could cost Vickers. No, he squeezes in that hole between the 2 cars.
Both of them went low. How about this 5 car, Ralph? Brian Vickers.
I just checked with crew chief Lance McGrew, Alan. Asked him about that fender. He said, yes, there was a little damage, but it's not anything we're going to have to worry about.
Nothing you can do about it anyway at this point.
He sure is using up those front rotors, too. I see every time he goes into turn 1 and turn 3 to 5 car, those front rotors are glowing, so he's trying all he can to get under the 48.
You know, the fastest car in this group right now looks like Wimmer, like he's maybe got a little bit more tire left. But passing 4 of them.
All right, here we go. Vickers right here. This is his strong point. Right in the middle of the corner. He's able to get it turned, but he can't use all the racetrack coming off to get that momentum down the backstretch like Shane Meal can.
He has to just tiptoe into turn 3 to keep from sliding up into him and taking them both out.
We've seen a lot of accidents tonight getting into the corner. Up, he's trying it again. See if he can take his line away, getting into the corner. Shane will do that. Make Brian hold his car down, makes him loose in, but here he gets another good run coming back off the corner.
He's almost there. Just a few more feet. He can use the racetrack off the corner. But Vickers realizes that. Will not let him have it.
And Wimmer to the outside of Keller for 3rd. Is he going to clear him? Wimmer to 3rd.
Oh, these 2 kids are doing such a fantastic job out there. Racing like this and not putting each other out. Great job of these 2 kids.
They are. They're acting definitely like veterans right now. Oh,
run that
he makes the pass.
Brian Vickers finally clears Shane Meal with 20 laps to go. Now can Scott Wimmer get around Shane Meal and try and do something with Rick Hendrick's driver, Brian Vickers?
There's Rick watching all this.
I'm going to tell you how smart a car Rick Hendrick is. He puts a veteran driver in the car last year with David Green with a young team. Seemed like they ran good every single week. David probably helped them that direction. They put a new driver in it this year. Man, that team is really taking off.
Here comes Scott Wimmer trying to get that Stacker 2 car alongside.
Come on.
Come on.
That's my cousin Sam. I can recognize his voice. He's the biggest cheerleader right now.
Just couldn't hook it up in that bottom lane. So much green flag racing. We got some business to do. Finish should be exciting. We're coming back to Indianapolis Raceway Park in a minute. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. 11 laps to go in the Kroger 200 NASCAR Busch Series race at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers, after finally taking the lead from Shane Meal, has left him by 2 3/4 seconds. This is the race for second. You're looking at Jason Keller just now squeezing in front of Shane Meal.
Contact between Meal and Jason Keller, and Keller did a fantastic job saving that car. Oh, he did that.
Great job. Looks like he just got loose coming off the corner of turn 2. Shane Mill had a lot of momentum. He pulled up in front of him, gave him a little tap.
There's just that little bit. Man,
Nice save.
great save.
Yes.
So Jason Keller up to second. Shane Mill third. And Scott Wimmer is running back in fourth. Pretty good distance behind them. Stacy Compton, nice recovery from the early spin for fifth. Sixth and seventh place are in the top 2 in the championship race. David Green is sixth. Scott Griggs has come back to seventh after the tire stop with 73 to go.
Battle for the third spot still continues.
Trying everything.
And he's running out of laps. Just 7 more laps to go. Here, Wimmer comes off the corner. Almost make contact, but he has a good run.
This guy's got to be just sliding around out there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job by Shane Mill. I know he's not going to get the win tonight, but he's driven a very, very solid race.
He really has had a good race car and used it to its maximum.
Yeah, to sit on the pole tonight and lead more laps tonight than he had all year long. And held Brian Vickers off for a long, long time. Great, clean racing.
How about this? Scott Riggs coming back from the tire stop, trying to take sixth away from David Green. Might turn out to be a plus points night.
What a comeback for Scott Riggs. I mean, he was mired back from 15th to 20th all night long, and just about 50 laps to go as they run. Still 2 points between the two.
Just the other way around.
Yeah.
It was Scott over David by 2 points when the green flag waved. All right, back up to third. Wimmer hasn't given up yet in that 23.
4 to try. 4 more times.
Just to follow up on the 10 car, my hat's off to Scott Riggs for the job he's done, and also the decisions that Doug Randolph and that crew have made in that pit area tonight.
Great call
Great
to
job.
come in. Great call to come in. Nothing to lose. I know track position is very important, but to come in that far back on the lead lap, to take that gamble, that's what points championships are won by. Chances like that.
Brian Vickers well out in front by 2 3/4 seconds over Jason Keller, who's opened up almost 2 seconds on this race for third place. It looks like it's going to be the hot spot in these final couple of laps. Shane Mill in the 48, Scott Wimmer in the 23, trying to hold him off.
Two laps to go as we watch the battle for third spot. But just imagine what's going through Brian Vickers' mind right now, the 5 car, as he's got a lap and a half to go. He's going to win his first NASCAR Busch Series race.
I know he is either crying or smiling ear to ear right now with 1 lap to go.
Oh, contact! The synchronized spins in turn 3 in the race for third place. The white flag is out. The caution has not waved. Brian Vickers is on the final lap of this race. Even if the caution waves now, they're racing back to the checkered flag.
And the track is clear.
Yep. 19-year-old Brian Vickers driving for Rick Hendrick is going to take the checkered flag and become a first-time NASCAR Busch Series winner. What a race. What a job by Brian Vickers.
He did a great job. Took his time, raced Shane Mill very clean, over and over and over again every lap, and then it paid off. I'm so glad to see a first-time winner here tonight. Great job by Brian Vickers.
And you saw Scott Riggs, the 5 car, finishes in 5th spot. Down to the pits.
Well, we got Rick Hendrick here with us. Rick, congratulations. You found another first-time winner here tonight. You know, if this kid keeps running like this, you're going to have to get yourself another cup program going. What did you see in this kid that made him so good?
I have to give Ricky all the credit for this one. Brian was his pick, and boy, that's been a good one. Kid's really got a lot of talent. He's just a good young man. Going to have a lot of future in him.
So you got room in your shop for another cup program here soon for him?
We don't know. I think we just lost the motor. You know, it's hard to believe he's 19 years old. So I'm happy for Ricky and the team, GMAC and everybody. But he's been so close all year, and this kind of lets him, I think he can breathe a lot better. I know we can when it's over.
You know, you've been real good about treating guys as special things when they get their first wins. You got anything planned for him?
Ricky's the car owner. He'll have to take care of him tonight.
Looks like that bill goes to Ricky Hendrick.
47th start for Brian Vickers and his first NASCAR Busch Series win. The 18th different winner in 22 races here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and what a job he did for 30 laps, trying and trying and trying. Shane Meal on the low side of this racetrack with that progressive banking, and he finally made it stick and got by and pulled away for the win.
That is one happy young man. You see that smile?
That's great. Nothing beats your first time ever in victory lane.
And there's Shane Meal down congratulating him on his victory.
I tell you, the future looks very bright for Busch Racing right now. 18-year-old and 19-year-old battling like they did tonight for the victory. Pretty healthy sport.
Brian Vickers, a three-time national go-karting champion. His father ran a team for him last year, trying to establish his career in the NASCAR Busch Series. It was a limited effort, but it did enough to get him noticed by one of the powerhouse organizations in the sport. Remember the name, Brian Vickers, one of NASCAR's stars of tomorrow. And he's in the winner's circle tonight here at IRP.
Good job. There's Ricky Hendrick giving a big hug. Randy Dorton alongside Rick Hendrick.
All right, Mark, it's all yours.
We're down here with Brian Vickers. How does it feel? First Busch win you had from the track, 20 years old yet.
It feels awesome. Shane, right here, we had a good race, buddy. That was fun. Whew, that's right. That's local racing right there, short track racing. I can't say enough for his GMAC CarQuest Chevy. Ricky, they gave me this opportunity of a lifetime. And the guys did an awesome job tonight. You know, we let him go there at the beginning of that last run. We saved our stuff. He burnt some of his up, and we got him at the end. That's when it counted.
At what point did you feel like, I've got to make the move, and I think I can make it stick this time?
When the 23 and the 57 was coming strong, that's when it was time to go.
So talk about the pass itself. I mean, you tried.
Shane's a good racer. We raced hard. He was knifing me. He was cutting me off. He was doing what he had to do. I was rubbing him. I was trying to push him up. It was an awesome race. I had a lot of fun. And sitting here in victory lane is not too bad.
One got away at Texas. How does it feel to finally back up what you think this team was capable of all along?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, it feels unbelievable. You know, this team deserves this. Chevy deserves this. GMAC CarQuest. They've supported us through the ups and the downs, everything. Rick, right here, come here. Ricky, he supported me through the whole deal. Ricky, come here. Come here, Ricky. He supported me this whole. Ricky picked me to drive this car, and it was an awesome opportunity. I thank him, the world of them. We want to say, get well, Bobby. God bless. We're praying for you. Hope everything is well.
Ricky just wanted to pick another driver that didn't shave like he didn't have to shave. You know, what that was all about. Ralph Shaheen?
Well, actually, Mark, we're trying to get the 10 and the 37 together over here. We're trying to get David Green over here to talk to us as well with Scott Riggs. We got Scott here first. Scott, you end up finishing one spot in front of David, so that should help you extend your points lead out a little bit tonight. There's David right here. All right, now when I talked to you before the start of the race today, you said, I'm kind of on suicide watch because I don't like the way this car's running. And you said it's not handling good, but maybe that's a good thing. Looked like it worked out okay. Was that the plan?
No, but that was the truth. We were bad. We didn't run fast laps in practice. We didn't make a fast qualifying lap. Never made a fast lap the whole night. Just because we qualified so poorly, we just kept coming in the pits and kept working on the car, and the guys never gave up and kept working on the car. And the very last run there we come in and put on just the left side tires, made another adjustment, and it's like it just finally flipped the switch on that car and got the car where it really turned good for us in the center of the corner, and we could still drive off the corner real strong. And can't believe we finally run up there and run David down there at the very end, and we're making a hard charge there. Me and him were racing pretty hard, and it seemed like the caution came out and the 23 spun, and David had to slow down a little bit, so I got him that way. So I guess I snookered him right there on that last one.
David, how's this championship fight going to go for you now tonight after you finished second to him? But you got, right in the thick of this points battle here. Did you see anything tonight that maybe gives you a belief that this is far from over?
The only thing I saw tonight, our team is still strong. I blocked Scott the last 10 laps. I was so loose, and we just made the one pit stop. But sometimes, like Scott said right there, you get an opportunity to work on your car a little bit more. It gets better. But, my team's right on track. I'm disappointed that we didn't finish fifth, didn't hold him off. But it's a good point night. And, hey, our car's in one piece, and my team did a great job again. And we're right where we want to be, honestly. First or leading right now or second, whatever, because it's still too early. But I'm right where we want to be, and the team did a great job of getting tonight. I got to learn how to take off on a restart, to spin my tires every time, and I got to learn how to get in the pit box a little bit better. But other than that, our team did good.
This points battle, as tight as it is on the racetrack tonight, very competitive racing between the two of you, but very clean racing. That's an indication of what we're going to see through now to the end of the season?
Absolutely. You know, I got to be buddies with Scott this year earlier because we parked together a lot, you know, and he's always raced me clean, and I blocked the dickens out of him there the last 15 laps, and, you know, I wasn't trying to make him hit me, but at the same time, it shows that this deal will go all the way down to the wire. And you know, I think you have to have respect for the guys you race with, and hopefully all the guys out there have some respect for me, just like I have for them.
Well, apparently he didn't have any respect for us because he bailed out on that interview right after he was done with it. So there you go.
You don't want to hear what I had to say.
No.
Again, I have to say thanks to Tim Wolf and all of our team. Another outstanding night. A good night here at RP. Hey, and congratulations to Brian Vickers.
There you go, Alan.
David Green and Scott Riggs finishing back-to-back in the finishing order tonight. Here was that race for third position going into the final couple of corners here.
Well, they go in the corner. The 23 car, Scott Wimmer, tries to get alongside the 48. 48 tried to come down, block him all they could, and they made contact, and around they went.
We saw that a few times tonight going into these corners. The guy on the bottom, just his line is taken away so much, going in so low. He gets loose, and he gets up into 48, takes them both out. Caught on tape.
Well, Shane Meal got away with that better because he came across to finish fourth, while by the time Wimmer got it fired up, he's outside of the top 10. But Brian Vickers, man of the night tonight, taking the lead with 11 laps to go. Excuse me, 19 laps to go, I'm sorry. And hung on for his first NASCAR Busch Series win.
Mike Skinner has a pretty good run, finishing in the 7th spot in the 7 car.
Sure did.
And there you see Wimmer back in 12th.
Kevin Grubb last on the lead lap in 15th position. Marty Lindley, first car, 1 lap down.
And he ran with the leaders there the last 50 laps or so.
And Tammy Jo Kirk, last of those who did not have any significant problems on the night, 29th position. Now a lot of the guys who spent time behind the wall or did not finish, including Bobby Hamilton Jr. Another big hit in the championship standings for him tonight. Oil leak early in the race, spent many laps behind the wall before finally calling it quits for the evening. More still to come from Indianapolis Raceway Park, including some thoughts on tomorrow's Brickyard 400 from Elliott Sadler. Time for the victory photos that they'll keep for many, many years to come, as Brian Vickers and the Hendrick Motorsports team celebrating his first NASCAR Busch Series win in tonight's Kroger 200 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. He got that win after a long, hard-fought battle with Shane Meal, who's with Mark Garrow now.
Shane, I'm going to ask you the same question you asked me a second ago. That was racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, anything like that's racing, but, you know, in between, I mean, I've never. Last time I raced that hard, I couldn't remember when. We run 50 laps side by side, me and Brian Vickers, and to lead that many laps, my team did a heck of a job to get me out of the pits in second like they did, and I mean, it was just a really good day for us, man. I'm tickled to death to run fourth. We'd have run third, but me and Scott Wimmer got together 2 to go just on a short track racing incident. He's a racer that don't do that, and I'm a racer that tries not to do that. And, you know, good for us. Good top 5 finish. Can't be disappointed.
How frustrated, though, is it to lead that many laps and not be sitting over in victory lane where Brian Vickers is right now?
Not as frustrating or disappointing as it is 4 times he should have won this year, but yeah, I mean, you can't be disappointed with that. I come to race, you know, and good racing is what I like, and I'll win one day. I'm 23 years old. But he's only 19, so think of how good he's going to be. But either way, when I'm 40, I'll have a couple of wins, but I'm just looking forward to it. I just enjoy racing, and that was racing to me. It don't matter if I finished 4th or what. I raced my guts out, and my team did the best job they could do for me. We just got a little tight, and we'll be back next week.
Shane certainly did race his guts out. By the way, we did want to catch up with Scott Wimmer, get his view on that last lap incident, but he has left the building. Ralph Shaheen.
All right, Mark, Stacy Compton had a real up-and-down kind of night, but you ended up on an up note. The scoreboard says you were 3rd. You have to be pretty happy with that, I would think. What was the story with your team tonight?
Well, I told you earlier in the night we had a great race car, and going at first, we started too far back and got caught up in an accident earlier, and went to the back, and the guys kept digging. I mean, Kingsford, Johnsonville, Bubba Burgers, Busch Beans, all those guys have stuck with us, and awful proud of them. You know, we kept working all night. Our motto here lately is never give up. And last couple of weeks we've spun early and ended up coming back, and tonight we had a good race car. We knew we had a good race car in practice. We just needed some luck, and we had a little bit. The guys kept working, making the car better and better. They made some great calls in the pits and kept making the car better and better, and first thing you know, we come away with the top 5.
All right, well, have fun in Sturgis today. I'm really jealous of that one. To Mark Garrow.
I'm with Jason Keller. Okay, the good news, 5 straight top 5 finishes here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The bad news, tonight you didn't get that third win. Came up a little bit short. How disappointed are you?
Well, I'm not really disappointed because we really had a good race car. The Albertsons Ford was good all night, and I tell you what, veterans made a mistake in leaving pit road. I stalled the car, and I really felt like we were going to win the race off pit road. The guys had a great pit stop, and just kind of made a mistake. But hey, we all make mistakes. But I'd like to thank Albertsons Ford. Goodyear had a great tire. It's a new tire, it's a little bit taller tire, and it was really good. And Roundup, Bear Creek Country Soups. We got so many people behind us, and man, I finished second here to Buffalo last year, and second to Brian Vickers this year. But I'd like to congratulate them. 95, I got my first Busch win here, and I know how special it is. And I still look at that special clock on in my trophy case a lot. So I know he'll cherish this one for a long time to come. And we just keep plugging away. I mean, we're really making grounds in this points race and really being consistent. And my team's coming on strong, man. I'm just riding the horse.
Were you too polite in that traffic at the end? You told me you thought you might have been.
Well, I probably was, but looking back, it all worked out in the end. I just let, when the 5 got by, the 48 there, he really got going in a hurry. And I knew if I had any shot, I had to get out in a hurry. And got kind of banging around there a little bit. I was trying to be nice and let him squirt out there. He was still, when he was clear traffic, I mean, I think we had equal as good a car, but I didn't have anything to run him down. Just a good night, man. It's short track racing, good for the fans. I hope if fans didn't enjoy that, they didn't enjoy it, but don't enjoy racing. But good night for the Albertsons Ford.
Alan, the fans certainly had to enjoy this one.
I know I did. I've been standing up for a couple hours watching this one. And the championship fight in the NASCAR Busch Series, just as good leaving as it was coming in.
That Brian Vickers moved up to 5th spot. He's only 99 points back. It's a 5-car battle to the end.
And the NASCAR Busch Series with a weekend off next weekend. They race at Michigan International Speedway 2 weeks from today. You'll see that on TNT. Back to talk Brickyard 400 after this. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brought to you by Sharpie. Right out loud. Denny's. Stop by and enjoy one of our new 3 complete breakfasts, each just $4.99. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat. Trim Spa, available completely ephedra-free. Get your high-speed Dream Body diet pill today. And Midas, auto service experts. Midas, we do that. And tonight's action, not the end of the great racing this week here in Indianapolis. Tomorrow across town at the Big Cousin track, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's the 10th running of the Brickyard 400. Elliott Sadler, we talked about his Bud Pole qualifying run that you saw earlier today here on TNT. What must it be like for you to walk through Gasoline Alley tomorrow and get ready to race at the Brickyard?
It's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the fans are so nice up here. I mean, it's like Racing City, USA. It's they welcome you so much. The straightaway here, you know, with the stands on both sides of the front straightaway, just seems like you're in a tunnel full of folks. It's so loud. Everybody's ready to go, and the prestigious part of that race, it seems like it's just the band's playing at the beginning, the green flag. It's a lot of excitement. I won't sleep much tonight thinking about it, but looking forward to race time.
I talked to some of the guys today, talked to Jeff Burton, some of the guys started in the back, and they said you can pass, you can race your way to the front.
It is. You know, usually we have the aero push deal and this and that and the other, but I think with the common templates and everybody with the roofs all the same this year at the Brickyard, it's a lot more passing's going on. I saw more passing today during happy hour, I think, than we saw the whole race last year. So even the guys that did get a bad draw or a bad qualifying run will definitely make their way to the front.
How was your car in happy hour?
I was pretty happy with it. Not good enough to win. I think we got a little bit of work to do, but definitely got something to work with. I think we're going to build some adjustments in it tonight. Hopefully Raymond's done that the correct way. Will help him tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Definitely going to do the best we can.
Of course, earlier today out at the Brickyard, you saw here on TNT, Kevin Harvick won the Bud Pole for tomorrow's race. Say it all together with me now. In new track record speed. 184.343 miles an hour, edging Ryan Newman for the top spot. Kevin Harvick to lead the field to the green flag for the running of the Brickyard 400 tomorrow.
And did you see Ryan Newman? Why did you beat me? I mean, Ryan Newman, doesn't he have enough poles? Have he won 5 this year or something?
Ryan's pretty funny as far as on qualifying day. If you beat him, he comes and shake your hand because you know you've done a good job if you've out qualified him, because he definitely can get a lot out of his race car. We laugh about it a lot after qualifying each week.
Elliott, great job tonight. We really appreciate you coming out. I know you enjoyed the race. I hope you enjoyed sitting in with us.
I did. I hope y'all invite me back one time. I appreciate you putting up with me and teaching me during all the breaks what to do and what not to do, but definitely enjoyed it.
He did good.
He was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Elliott Sadler in the M&M's Ford tomorrow at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So coverage of NASCAR continuing tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on NBC with Discover Card Countdown to Green. And live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's the Brickyard 400. Next on TNT, Believe in the Impossible and the Incredible will come true. Don't miss Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams next on TNT. For Benny Parsons, Elliott Sadler, Ralph Shaheen, and Mark Garrow, Alan Bestwick saying so long from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers with his first NASCAR Busch Series win, coming out on top of a very exciting Kroger 200 for the NASCAR Busch Series. You've been watching NASCAR on TNT.